welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another Flashback review, and this is of a beautiful pen. This is the Montegrappa Bartolomeo Ferracina Shiny Circles Celluloid, and this is a pen that I purchased in 2020. This was actually around the time of when the pandemic hit and we went into lockdown. Now, I remember buying this pen because I was at a London pen show at the old Bloomsbury venue in London, and Emmy from Pen Venture was there, and he was trying to sell me this pen. He was trying to do a trade with another pen I had. If I remember correctly, it was one of my Arco pens. It was the Paragon Grande in Arco Brown, and I just didn't want to part with it, and I walked away from the show without actually getting this pen, securing it. And then a few months went by, I think it was March, April, then into May, where Emmy was kind of hassling me and saying, look, I'm going to be sending this pen back to Montegrappa. Are you sure you don't want it? Nod, nod, wink, wink. And I managed to do a deal with Emmy, and he shipped this pen to me, and it arrived, and oh yeah, I'm glad I bought this pen. It's a Ferracina, so it does have a clock here on the cap finial. You can actually unscrew that clock there as well. Is it a clock? Is it a watch? I don't know. I call it a clock, personally. It is a solar. You do get some sunlight. It will charge that clock, and you can set it here from what essentially is the crown. What do I like about this pen? Well, I bought it in 2020. I wanted it because I already had the Montegrappa Extra 1930 Shiny Lines dub from Goulet, and I love celluloid, and I love the stacked celluloid. I've got a lot of Visconti black and grey stacked celluloid, and I already had the grey version of this in the Extra 1930 from Montegrappa, but I wanted this. It looks a little bit bulbous here, but it actually works. Light and dark areas of this celluloid as you rotate it, and that's perfectly natural on the way that it's cut, but it just sparkles, and I'm glad that I did pick this up eventually. It does have the silver section, and this always was a deal breaker for me, having a silver section, because you can see there's a bit of tarnishing, silver tarnished. I can polish that up, and that's perfectly fine. I just haven't done that recently. And it also comes with a number 8 size Montegrappa 18 karat gold nib there with an ebonite feed, and you can see there, it just looks nice. It is an oversized pen. I can post a cap, but because of the clock here, it is very back weighted, and silver. So you've got the silver, very thick silver cap band. You've got silver here on the piston knob. It is a rather small piston knob. I think that's the only takeaway that I would have on this pen in terms of negativity, is I think I would have preferred a slightly larger piston knob, and or possibly maybe in the celluloid material. A little bit sort of like the Extra 1930 piston knob. But that said, I do like this pen. I like it a lot. And I've had it for, well, 4.5 or more years now, and I still like this pen. Like a lot of my pens, it doesn't get as much writing time as I would like, and I need to change that this year with a lot of my pens. I need to go back and write more with these pens, and I will do. But I love this pen. It really is good, so I'm glad I didn't let this one get away. And I like this pen so much that I almost, on more than 2 occasions, bought another one. And I know that is a crazy statement. Thankfully, I didn't. because I don't normally buy multiples of the same pen. But this would be one of the pens where I would buy multiples of. So if I got it for a really good price, I probably would buy it. Now, there are versions of this pen out there that do not have the clock. And those are, I think it was a Chatterley Luxuries exclusive, where they didn't do the Bartolomeo Ferracina is the watchmaker. And so they didn't do it on that one. I can't remember off the top of my head what the name of those pens were, but they were very similar. I think it was Ferracina instead. But I didn't really want that one. I wanted it with the clock. But I have seen a couple with the clock being sold more recently with the shiny lines, and I nearly did pick them up. Kind of glad that I didn't, but also kind of not glad that I didn't, because they probably should be in my collection. However, that said, I'm happy with one. I don't get to write with this enough. That will be changing this year. I will be writing with it more. But yeah. Good price? Possibly I would buy them, but I typically would shy away from buying multiples a lot of the time. So I think with that, let's do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have a Cypress Eggshell 01, a Cypress Eggshell 05A, a Cypress Eggshell 06, a Pelikan M1000 Ardent Sunlight, a Montegrappa, and this is the Extra 1930 Shiny Lines Dove. We have a Montegrappa Bartolomeo Ferracina Shiny Circles. We have a Montegrappa, and this is the Game of Thrones Winter is Here. We have a Tweeko Seishu Dragon in red, a Tweeko Seishu Dragon in green, and we have a Mont Blanc Writer's Edition Jane Austen. So, I think let's now go and do a writing sample. So, this is the Montegrappa, and it is the Bartolomeo Ferracina Shiny Circles, and I'm gonna try and fit it all in here. It's a medium, and it's an 18 karat gold nib. The ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey, which again I think just actually I need to stop talking as I write. That's Earl Grey. I think I've dedicated this pen to this ink. I don't think I've inked it up with anything else. In terms of line variations, you're definitely getting what is a Western medium. If I push it, I can get towards a Western broad, and you'll see there, you can see the line variation in those figure of eights. And if I continue with the vertical lines, there's no hard starts or skips there. In terms of ink wetness, so let's do an ink wetness test. I know that this is quite a lovely wet nib, and I do like wet nibs, and I cannot lie. So this is a fire hose of a nib. So what do I like? What do I not like about this pen? Well, I like it enough because I bought the pen, and I like it enough because it's still in my collection, sort of 4.5 years on. It really is a pen that I like. I say a pen that I like, it's more of a celluloid that I like. It is a beautiful celluloid. What do I dislike about the pen? The only hindsight niggle I would say is that the piston knob, as I mentioned earlier, could be a little larger. It's a little bit more difficult to twist that piston knob, bearing in mind that your thumb is going to be like this size. It is quite a narrow in length piston knob, but This is a pen that I like, and I have it in my collection, and it's also not one of these pens I'm looking to sell anytime soon. This is a pen that I get a lot of love from. I like the shiny circles, and clearly I like it enough because it's still in my collection today. So there you have it. That's my flashback review of the Montegrappa Bartolomeo Ferracina in shiny circles in a medium 18 karat gold nib. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.